Hi parents, today you're going to be doing a science activity with your child, which involves eggs. Now, what they're going to be doing is determining if something sinks or floats. So the first thing that I want to address is that it will not be touching on every step of the scientific method, but we will be talking about questioning to see if something sinks or floats. They will be drawing a hypothesis, being able to guess based on how heavy the item is. And then they will come up with a conclusion. They'll look at the results and determine if their hypothesis was correct. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and fish out some Easter eggs from your child's Easter basket and go ahead and label them. I suggest working with 4. I think 4 is a good number for this experiment. However, if you conclude the experiment and your child wants to do more, you're always welcome to do more. I filled up an Easter basket with water, but you can do a bowl. And then go ahead and get a piece of paper and you'll mark it with 4 sections based on the egg number, which you've labeled. They will draw a picture of what's inside of each egg as they work with the egg. They will guess if the item is going to sink or float, and then they will determine if their guess was correct or incorrect. So egg number 1 has rocks. So I'll go ahead and draw a picture of my rocks. And now I'm going to put it in the bowl. And sure enough, my egg sunk. So one thing I neglected to mention was before putting the egg into the bowl, have them guess, have them hold the rocks and say, do you think that this will sink or float? Let's say for the purpose of this experiment that I said it would sink, and now I can see that my egg did sink, so my hypothesis was correct. So that's how they'll be working with each egg. So egg number 2, I have quarters. I'll draw my quarters. And now, do I think that my quarters are going to sink or float? I think my quarters are going to float. So I will write float because that is my hypothesis. Then I will drop egg number 2. And oh my goodness, my quarters did not float, they sunk. So my hypothesis was not correct. Let's move on to egg number 3. Cotton balls. All right, so I think my cotton balls are going to sink or float. Let me draw them. And I think my cotton balls are going to float. Now I'm going to check if it sinks or floats, and oh my goodness, it floated. So my hypothesis was correct. All right, I've got one more egg here, egg number 4, and there is a cork inside. All right, so what I'm going to do is I will draw my cork. And now I need to guess, do I think my cork is going to sink or do I think my cork is going to float? I think my cork is going to sink. So now I will make the letter S, and then I would go ahead and put that into my bowl here, and my egg is floating. So I got that incorrect. You guys can compare, you can go through, have them hold everything. Does that feel light or heavy? The egg itself, you can see, just an empty egg. If that sinks or floats, have them open each item and feel if each item is heavy or is it light. Then what you can do is go over the results again and reiterate, okay, so it looks like heavy things sink and light things float. Then at the end, it's up to them how they want to conclude. At that point, you can conclude, but if you want to, push them a little bit, then they can go find more things around the house. And or later, maybe while they're having a bath, you guys can do a little sink and float connection with this activity today. But let me know if you guys have any questions. Enjoy questioning your child, giving them, helping them to reach a hypothesis, and then drawing a conclusion.